Hi guys, I'm Liti. You guys might know me as the Yoga Ninja. This video that I'm sharing with you is episode 2 of my Yoga for Beginners series. If you've missed episode 1, you can click the link down below and check it out. The episodes are necessarily chronological or continuing, so you don't need to watch episode 1 or you'll be able to do episode 2. You can choose whichever one that you want to do. So the practice that I will be sharing with you in this episode is called Utkaras. It was a gift from my beloved teacher Mark Whitwell, and I am super excited to be sharing it with you today. So enjoy, and please, if you like this video, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. And if you know anyone who you think will benefit from this practice, feel free to go ahead and share. Enjoy! We will begin by standing towards the front of our mats, feet hip-width distance apart and hands at prayer at heart center. With the breath leading the movement, we will inhale and hands come up above the head and exhale and hands come back down to the side. We will repeat this movement for 3 to 4 breaths. Inhale and then the hands come up and exhale and hands come down to prayer at heart center. Now keeping the knees very soft, we will inhale and hands come up and exhale, fold all the way down to the floor over our legs. We will repeat this movement for about 3 to 4 breaths. Inhale and coming all the way up and exhaling from below, pulling your belly up and in, folding all the way down over our legs. On the third exhale, we will remain folded over our legs for 3 to 4 breaths. And after our third breath in forward fold, we will inhale and rise all the way up and exhale, hands come back down to prayer at heart center. Now when you're ready, we will come into Virabhadrasana 1. So inhale and hands come up above the head and exhale, fold all the way forward over your legs and gently step your right foot back. Front foot is pointed straight forward and the back foot is pointed out at a 45-degree angle. And on your next inhalation, rise all the way up, hands above the head, and exhale and fold forward over the front lunging leg. Repeat this movement for 3 to 4 breaths. And finally, on your third and final breath, you will inhale and come up and exhale and stay up for another 3 to 4 breaths. Inhale and extending up towards the sky, keeping those shoulders soft. And on the final exhale, folding all the way forward, bringing that back foot forward and inhale coming up and exhale, hands to prayer at heart center. We will repeat the same movements for Virabhadrasana 1 for the left side. So inhale and hands come up, exhale, fold all the way down and step your left foot back. Inhale coming up and exhale folding over the front lunging leg. Again, repeating this with the breath leading the movement for 3 to 4 breaths. And on your third or fourth breath, you will inhale and come up and you will stay up for another 3 to 4 breaths. Inhale and expand the chest and reach for the sky, and exhale and soften into that front lunging knee. And finally, on your next exhalation, fall all the way down. Bring your back foot forward to meet your right foot. Inhale and hands come up, and exhale, hands to prayer. Next, we will come into Trikonasana or triangle pose. So step your feet wide alongside your mat. Inhale and open up your arms and open up your chest. Exhale and take your right hand across to the outside edge of your left foot. And inhale, come back up. And exhale, do the same for the other side. Opposite hand, folding down to the opposite foot. Repeat this for about 3 breaths each side. Inhale, coming up, and exhale, folding down. And on your third and final breath, you will exhale down to the foot, and inhale, stay here for 3 to 4 breaths. After your third breath, you will inhale and come up, and exhale down to the second side, and stay down on the second side for another 3 to 4 breaths. Third cycle of breath is finished in this pose. Inhale and rise back up to the middle, and exhale with your knees soft, gently fold forward between your legs. Inhale, rise back up, and exhale, fold back down in between your legs, in between your feet. Inhaling and coming back up, and exhale, folding all the way down and staying down for another 3 to 4 breaths. Inhaling and expanding the chest, and exhaling and softening into the pose. Then when you're done with your 3 breath cycles, inhale and come up, and exhale to hands at prayer at heart center. Bring the feet together and come back to the front of your mat. Next, we will inhale and bring the hands up above the head. Exhale, fold all the way down, and step both feet back and come into downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, we will inhale and drop the knees to the mat. Head comes forward and tailbone points up to the sky for cow pose. And on the exhalation, we will lift the hips up and back to downward facing dog. So we're inhaling and coming into cow, and exhaling and pushing back to down dog. Repeat these movements for about 3 to 4 breaths. Inhaling, coming into cow, and exhaling and pushing back to down dog. And on the third and final breath cycle, we will stay in down dog for another 3 to 4 breaths. And on your third and final exhalation, drop your knees down to the mat and sit back onto your heels, arms stretched out in front of you, coming into child's pose. You can take a few seconds to rest here in child's pose. And when you're ready, on your next inhalation, rise up onto your knees and hands come up above your head. And exhale back down to child's pose. And And inhale, slide forward to cobra. No pressure on the hands, just lifting with the chest. And exhale back to child's pose. Inhale, standing on the knees, hands above the head. Exhaling to child's pose. Inhaling forward to cobra. And exhaling back to child's pose. We will repeat this cycle of movements for 3 to 4 breaths. And on your third and final inhalation, coming into cobra, you will exhale and stay in cobra for another 3 to 4 breaths. Your torso is slowly being lifted by your chest and your back with no pressure at all on your hands. And then on your final exhalation, you're gonna push back and come back into a pose of the child. Now you can rest in child's pose for a few breaths. And when you're ready, gently make your way onto your back, feet planted on the ground and knees pointing to the sky. Now on your next inhalation, you will inhale and the hands come up above the head, and pushing through the feet, you will send your hips up towards the sky. And exhale, hips come back down and hands come back beside you. Repeating this movement for 3 to 4 breaths. Inhale, coming up, and exhale, softening back down. On your third inhalation, coming into bridge pose, you will exhale and stay up for another 3 to 4 breaths. After your third cycle of breaths, you will exhale and drop your hips back onto the floor. Tuck your knees into your chest and rest your hands on top of each knee. Now take one last deep and final breath. Give yourself a nice big hug. And exhale, release everything onto the floor. Palms up beside you, feet out wide below you, and come into Shavasana. Thank you all so much for sharing your practice with me. Namaste.